should we move to the flipped learning? Okay, so Isha ma'am, may I start with my presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, give me 1 minute. Let me share my screen. So here I am going to share my screen. I will take 2 minutes to share my screen. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. Give me 1 minute. Let me share my screen. And before sharing my screen, I will show you a code and I will share this link in your chat box because that sharing that code and this link is related to my topic, that is the flipped classroom. Okay, so give me a while that I'm going to start with. Just taking time to load, okay.
While we are waiting for Shalini ma'am to share her PPT, please send this message which is given in the chat box. You will get the certificates on the registered email ID you have entered while registering this class.
Yes, yeah. It will take 1 minute time to share my presentation. Okay. So now I'm going to share my screen. So 1 minute. Network is a bit slow. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am, it's loading.
Okay, fine. So today our topic is flipped classroom, and that is why I have started this session with my presentation with one of the add-on of Google Classroom. So here I'm starting my slides with one of the add-on of Google, that is Nearpod. With the help of this, you will understand how this flipped learning is going to help us in our present classroom. So as we know, Peer Deck is the one of the platform to interact with the students and which is going to help us in many ways. So once my slide will be visible, you will see a code there. Try to enter the class with the code and you will able to understand why I have given this code and how this is helping us in the coming session and how this is going to enhance our flipped classroom and flipped learning. Although it will take about 2 minutes to load because it is an add-on of Google. So so you will see just 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, fine. Okay, so here you can see as soon as now installing Peer Deck. Okay, so this is the code by which you can join with the Nearpod. I can give this link in the chat box as well. So I am pasting this link in the chat box. If you want to learn about that, if you want to explore this, I am pasting this link here in the chat and you will directly you can enter with the okay. So I'm going to start with this my slide. Okay. So flipped classroom. What is a flipped classroom? Till now we say because for the last 2 years during the pandemics we are completely online and we are taking our classes in the online mode. We are teaching students in by the Zoom platform or by the Google Classroom. Now we are again back to the normals and we are taking classes in an offline mode. Now why there is a need of doing the flipped classroom and what is the benefit of the flipped classroom? So the first question come in our mind, what is a flipped classroom? When I am saying the flipped classroom, what does it mean? Or we say, what is the flipped learning actually? The flipped learning is, if you will see, flipped classroom is a pedagogical approach in which direct instruction move from the group learning space to the individual learning space and resulting group space is transformed into dynamic, interactive learning environment where the educators guide students as they apply concepts and engaging creatively in the subject matter. Although it seems like very complicated definition, in the simple words we can say when the students come prepared with the class, the concepts are already introduced to them by the flipped tools, just like by sending them the videos or something. So that is going to help us in the flipped classroom. There are four basic pillars of the flipped learning. F, it stands for flexible environment. That is up to you. When you want to implement flipped classroom, when you are going to implement these flipped learning tools, when you need, that is up to your requirement. It is requirement by the teachers as well as students. ये एक टीचर और स्टूडेंट को डिसाइड करना है कौन से टॉपिक को उन्हें फ्लिप्ड लर्निंग से करना है. It is not mandatory for you to teach each topic with the flipped learning. That is up to your understanding. That is up to you कि आप किस टॉपिक को फ्लिप्ड लर्निंग में करना चाहते हैं. Then learning culture, because when you are trying to enhance the class performance, when you are want to cover each and every student, when you want to access each and every student, this is the one of the thing. Most of the time हम लोग क्या करते हैं, traditional classroom में we go and we deliver the lecture and we give homework to the student and we come back without thinking कि उनको कितना access किया है. And after that now we are using the so many type of online platforms, we just send a assessment. So learning culture ko ye flipped classroom is going to increase your learning culture. International content. Now international content, that means you can connect these students because we are using so many platforms, we are using so many edtech tools where the students will be on the international platform and they are going to expose to the globe. So this flip learning is going to help us to deliver the international content at the same time. Now, professional educators, for planning a flipped classroom or flipped learning, it is important for us to plan our lessons so smartly. And for this, we need a professional educators which are completely aware of all type of edtech tools, all type of platforms by which he or she can enhance the learning of the student. Now, when we are talking about the flipped learning, when we are talking about the flipped classroom, why we need this flipped classroom? Before, if we talk about the post pandemic time, you know and the pre pandemic time, both, if you compare these both eras, they are completely different. They are completely different. यदि प्री पैंडेमिक में बात करें, वी आर कंप्लीटली ट्रेडिशनल, हम एकदम ट्रेडिशनल क्लासरूम पे चल रहे थे, जहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स आते थे, द टीचर्स कम विद द प्रिपेयर्ड lectures and they deliver that lectures, student complete that work, we check their notebooks and give. Then comes the pandemic, where we are completely online, जहाँ हम पूरी तरह online थे, हम हर चीज online कर रहे हैं. We are taking exams online, we are taking the assessment online, we are doing all the activities or the skill development online. Now, after that, it comes the post-pandemic era. Now the students are already exposed to these all type of the edtech tool. Now we cannot remove these all tools. We are not able to, like, हम उनको वापस से ट्रेडिशनल क्लासरूम में नहीं ला सकते, because we have learned that during this era so many tools are so much helpful to the teachers. You can see जितने भी quizzes apps हैं, जितने भी assessment tools हैं, they are so helpful for the teachers, because it not only reduces the stress on the teachers, it also help in increasing the student learning also. So like this, we cannot say that we can completely come back to the normal and completely we are going to implement the traditional classroom. So why flip learning? Now let us see. Why should flip classroom? Why we have to flip classroom? Now, the concept of flipped classroom was first brought up by the Jonathan Bagman and the Aaron Sands, who were the both high school chemistry teachers. In their books, Flip Your Classroom, reach every student. We all know uh, you know, during this traditional classroom, it is very difficult to reach each and every student. Okay. Now, they discuss a couple of reasons why teachers should consider flipping. Now, what are the why we should go for the flipped classroom? There are so many benefits. There are so many reasons to go for the flipped classroom. If you see, flipping speaks the language of today's student. We all know now students are too much exposed to this, all the tools, they are exposed to the gadgets. And we all know the people, those of my age, we are the techno immigrants, and where are they all are the all students are techno savvy. So if we are going to teach them with the traditional way, हम उस पुराने ही तरीके से उनको नहीं पढ़ा सकते, because these all tools are in their hand. So they talk about the language of today's student, क्योंकि हम उनको इस टेक्नोलॉजी से कितनी भी कोशिश कर लें दूर नहीं कर पाएंगे. Flipping helps busy students. So flipping means whenever the students are in the classroom, in the live classroom, because when we are talking about the flipping, that means we are talking about both edtech tools as well as the live classroom. It is not simply talking about the technology, it is also talking about the live classroom. Here flipping helps busy students, because we can give some topics to them, let them do research and come with that research. Flipping helps struggling students. You know, the fear of judgment is the one of the, I can say, the most, I can say the एक ऐसा डर है बच्चों के मन में. That is why the most of the students don't ask question during the classes. They don't like to ask questions. उनको लगता है कि यदि मैंने ये question पूछा, then what others will think about me. So that is the thing. And this flip learning tools or the flipping the class help these students so they can clear their doubts, they can ask questions, they can come, they can do preparation for the class also. Now, flipping helps students of all abilities to excel, because in the classroom, if you will see, there are a bunch of students which are proactive, and they are always ready, they are proactive, they are always ready to interact with the teachers, they are already ready to answer, they are already ready to come forward and take the charges. So there are few students which feel like they are neglected, they find themselves that they are ignored. But here, when you are doing the flipping, that means these students can be also attended, because they also get that attention. They are not being like in the fear or the scared कि मैं आंसर नहीं दे पाया तो क्या हुआ, या they get the chance to answer. Flipping allows students to pause and rewind their teacher. In the flipping, when we talk about the flipped learning or the flipped classroom, teacher can record their lectures and post in the groups, as well as they can keep in the record, they can make the file and keep there in the smart boards. So if the student during the live class not able to understand that topic, the same students can use the same topic again and again. क्योंकि लाइव क्लासेस में क्या होता है, इफ द स्टूडेंट एक या दो बार आपके पास आ जाए पूछने की मैम आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट, अरे समझाया तो था, आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन्ड यू, व्हाई यू आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, यू आर नॉट फोकस्ड इन द क्लास. But here, the student, without any fear, as many times, whenever they are doing preparation, then whenever they are doing revision, they want to understand that topic again, so they can use the same video or same content again and again to rewind and find what their teacher has delivered, what their teacher has told them in the class. Flipping increases student-teacher interaction. You know, when we talk about the student teacher interaction, most of the hindrance in the student teacher interaction is the misunderstanding or a miscommunication between teacher, when the student does not perform and teacher think ये सुनता ही नहीं है या ये सुनती ही नहीं है, and the student think whenever I approach the teacher does not pay any attention on me. But here, when the student come with the 60 or more than 60 or less than it, it's not compulsory कि इतना ही हो, come with the preparation, so they get the enough space to interact and clear their doubts, to create something. So like this, it also increases the interaction between the student and the teacher. Flipping allows teacher to know their students better, because when we do flipping, it gives enough time to the teacher to focus on their students, उनकी और क्या needs है, क्योंकि most as soon as we enter the class and what we say, just settle down, let me start my topic and let me explain it. यहाँ पर अब ये जल्दी नहीं रहती है किसी टीचर को, because you have already introduced the topic before, so the students are already aware of. Now you can start your class with the students interaction, and you can also give time to your students and you can clear their doubts, you can go for the group discussion, you can go for the debates. That is up to you. You will get the enough time, and we are not in hurry to complete our topic. We are not in hurry to just मुझे अपना ये in 40 minutes में, in 45 minutes में I have to complete my content. Flipping increases student interaction, because if we see the example of flipping, there are so many, because not only in the online classes, flipping doesn't mean with the like tech tools or any online platform. Flipping can be done in the live classes also. When we do these things in the live classes, like group discussions, debate, or we can say when they do the group activities, it increases the student interaction. Now, flipping allows teacher to know, then I will come to here, flipping allows real differentiation. Now, when it comes to flipping, that means when you have already allotted the work, you have already introduced the topic, then you get the enough time to differentiate between the students. Differentiation doesn't mean about the judgment. There's no relation with the in differentiation with the judgment. Here we are talking about the you can group the students as per their skills, as per their needs, as per their requirement. So here we can easily segregate students different ways. If which student needs the more attention or which students can lead this group. So we are able to do that. It is not about the judgment here. Flipping changes the class classroom management. Now, when we do flipping, most of the time the traditional classroom, it is the educator instructed classroom, or most of the time teacher is on the front and she gives the instruction and the students follow. But when you do the flipping, it becomes the student centered class where the students are learning, and they are learned by the student because the students become volunteer at that time. And like this, your classroom management changed by that. Flipping changes the way we talk to the parents, because most of the time in the traditional classroom, you see the parents come, मैम क्या हो रहा है क्लास में हमको पता ही नहीं है, बच्चा क्या पढ़ता है हमको नहीं पता, मैम क्या पढ़ाया गया मेरे बच्चे को समझ में नहीं आया. These all things, I think all of us go through these same type of complaints. We all go through the same type of feedback from that. मैम इसने क्या किया है मुझे पता ही नहीं चला, ये कॉपी में कुछ लिखता नहीं है, मैम इसने ऐसा नहीं किया. So like this, when everything you are giving the flipping, we are posting your videos, you are posting these type of assessments. Now the parents are completely aware. So here becomes the 50-50 type of partnership between the parent and the teacher. So here the parents which used to blame teacher and the teacher used to there is a misunderstanding between the parents and the teacher. But here it actually, I can say it improved the relation between the teacher and the parent also. Flipping educate parents because it educates in many ways, because the parents are completely aware what is going on in the class, what are being things are being taught in the class. So here parents are completely aware of the fact what is going in the class. So यहाँ पर parents educate होते हैं किस topic को कैसे teacher ने कराया and why their word is lacking in that. ये सारी चीजें already clear रहती हैं. So there the parents get educated by the topic. And if suppose if, not everyone's parents are from the science background or the humanities background, so like this, when they have that content, they can help their student to explore more. Flipping makes your class transparent. These are the very common thing in the classroom. Whenever, in the each class, there are few set of students which score good. And as a student, we also talk about the, अरे वो teacher का favorite है, उसको ऐसा हुआ होगा, उसने ऐसा कर लिया. So here, when you teach, it is for everyone. And when you are posting that video, it is not for the one child, it is for the all students. So all students can go through that. Whatever the content you are posting, everyone has the access on that. So it will give the transparency in the class. It is not for the special people. Okay, so everyone have the same access, so that creates a transparent environment in our class. Flipping is a great technique for the absent teachers. This is the best thing. Most of the time as a teachers, we are like, if we enter the class and we come to know that two teachers are absent, then we think, आज फिर हमारा substitute लगेगा, आज फिर हमारा arrangement लगेगा. But flipping is the one way by it will save the time of teacher, it will save the time of student, it will also it lesser the burden of the management as well at the same time. Because if I am going on leave and before leaving, taking my leave, if I just give 2 or 3 my recorded lectures, if I give a few assessment to the and I upload on the my smart board, so the teacher which is coming as a substitute or a teacher which is coming as an arrangement teacher, can they use the same time? It will save the time of the student. It will lesser the burden of the teacher which is going on the leave, as well as the teacher which come on the as a substitute there. Flipping can lead to the flipped mastery program. So here that is means when you can use that flipped tech tools, then it is going to help you in exploring new techniques. So how to design? We have talked about the flipped classroom, why to flip classroom, and now what are the things which, or we can say advantage of these flipped classroom. Now there are 7 steps to a flipped classroom. The first thing is that you have to decide the technology which you are going to use. You cannot use the all type of tools at the same time. One technology you have to decide, then you have to choose the, at the same time you have to also choose the topic. You cannot teach the entire chapter as a flipped learning. You have to just choose one topic which you are going to take forward as a flipped learning. Now, after that, you have to plan it very smartly. You have chosen the, we can say, the platform, you have chosen the concept, then format based on the student feedback. Now, when you choose this concept, please go through the students feedback, which topic they want to revise again, which topic, as a experienced teacher, we all know that particular topic is a difficult one. As you talk about the middle block teacher, I can say most of the time in class A the students struggle with the metals and non-metals. So I know that these are the contents, and as a teacher we all know which are the concepts, which is the concepts which in which the students struggle. We can take that concept, we can choose that tool which is going to help us, then make your videos, then you can post that and you can use by any way. That is up to you. How to implement a flipped classroom. Now, I have chosen a platform. I have already selected a topic. I have taken my students' feedback कि कौन से concept में वो struggle कर रहे हैं and how can I help them. Then how I am going to implement this flipped classroom or flipped learning. Now, we have to plan out it, and plan out, we have to very smartly, we have to plan. Now, figure out which lesson in particular you want to flip. Outline the key learning outcomes and the lesson plan. So it should be the part of our lesson plan. This particular topic I am going to do with my flipped learning tools and flipped classroom. Then record. Instead of teaching this lesson in person, now I came to know कि in chemical properties of matters my students are struggling. मैं जाऊँ one to one एक एक बच्चे को पकड़ूँ अलग से बैठ के पढ़ाऊँ, better है. I can, what I do, make a video, all that things, and a screencast work. Make sure it contains all the key elements you had mentioned in the classroom. So it should not be different from what you have taught in the class and what you are when you are using this flipped learning or flipped classroom. Now, share. After you have made a video, then share it. Send the video to your students. Make the engaging and clear. Explain the video's content will be fully discussed in the class. Whatever there in the video, please take forward it in the class also. Please do not like, I have shared in the classroom, but sab ho gaya. No, we have to discuss that in the class also. Change. Now that your students have viewed your lesson, you are prepared to actually go more in depth than ever before, because students are already introduced to the topic. They have gone through the complete content. Now we have to carry forward it. अब हम उसके आगे बढ़ेंगे. वो हमने डिस्कस कर लिया, आपने उस वीडियो में ये देखा था. Now I am going to make it more clear that you have watched in the video. Now first I will take their recapitulation, what you have learned, then I will go more deep in the topic. Now, group. Effective way to discuss the topic is to separate into groups where the students are given to a task to perform, write a poem, play, make a video, etc. So when we are talking about this flipped learning, it is not about the science or the maths classes. They can be very nicely and effectively can be utilized for the English, Hindi, maths, and even for the social science classes. Now, group discussion is the one of the best way, because we are here in the traditional way, and again we are in the offline mode. So we are doing the blending of both the platforms. Now we are going to take part in the live. We will divide the students so that each student get chance to express their views, each student get chance to learn. Now regroup. Get the class back together to share the individual groups work with everyone and ask questions, dive deeper and ever before. This is the best way. Once the all group have done their learning, they have done their research. In the last, ask them to share their learning. Suppose the one group has done research or they have come to a conclusion, the next group will have the another learning. So like this, everyone are able to learn something new. So last but not the least, after the 6 steps, review, revise, and repeat. What you have learned, what is your objective of sharing that you are learning content, what you came to know in the class, what is the outcome of that, then repeat it again as and when needed. Now, what's different? Now, how it is different from the traditional classroom? With the model of flipped classroom, students have a direct access to the knowledge, whereas with the traditional classroom, students do not have direct access to the knowledge. The teacher stands between the student and the knowledge. With a flipped classroom, students have to prepare their contact moments, and the students who attend the traditional classroom mostly have to do homework after the contact moments. Now, when I go to the class, I deliver content as per my understanding, and demand, or I can say requirement of the students are something different. You know, so I have delivered the same the content or a lecture as per my understanding, as per my preparation, but the students need something more. So here, when you are using the flipped learning tools, when you are doing the flipped learning, so student sorry, student will learn as per their understanding. Now, this will help you as a teacher also. You will come to know the level of the understanding. You will able to find out that learning gap. You can find out what is the difference between your learning, I can say, your objective and the outcome. Now, as a teachers, we all are aware of Bloom's taxonomy, and this pyramid is like, we all know this pyramid. In the traditional classroom model, if you will see, remembering, then understanding, then applying, then analyzing, then you can see it is like in this way, and the last or the peak of this Bloom, we can say the pyramid is create. Because the first the students remember, then they understand, then they try to apply, then they try to analyze, then they come to the top, that is create. But in the flipped learning, when they enter the class, they have already remembered and understand by the flipped content. Then when they enter the classroom, they come with the, I can say, they come with the feeling to apply that knowledge. Then after applying, they are able, when they do this group discussion, when they sit in the group, they analyze what they have learned and what the other student has learned. So they are in the condition where, or we can say, they are at the point where they can evaluate the learning also. And you can see after that, easily they can create something new. So this is the, I can say, the way in the flipped learning, how this Bloom's taxonomy become completely vice versa in the flipped one, as compared to the our traditional classroom. Now, this pyramid which I have shown you, this is of the Bloom's taxonomy, and in the traditional class, it is completely reversed, remembering at the bottom and the creating one. So when in the flipped classroom the student come, they have at the, they start with the creating itself. You know, we have to do a lot of hard work to take our student to the that tip of the pyramid. But here in this flipped classroom, they are starting with the creating, because the understanding and remembering is already done with that flipped content. Now, what are the benefits for the educators? Before that also, I have shown you a slide in which I have told why we have to implement. Those are the reasons why we have to implement this flipped learning in the classroom. As the educators, how this flipped learning is going to help us. Here you can see teachers spend less time introducing new topics, because when you come first, you give the introduction. Okay, today I'm going to tell about the cell structure. Then you will tell the history, that when this microscope is invented, then how there's the research has came, then how these cells are examined, then these all things. But when they come with that, so less time we have to spend that. Student develop independent learning skills. Now, because the flip learning is student centered class, teacher can create more engaging lessons. Now, you know, 100% we have to give it in that 40 minutes. But here, when the students come, they are already introduced. They come with the remembering and the understanding. They are here in the class for the applying. So easily you can engage students in the more creative and engaging works. Students who are absent do not fall behind. And this is the biggest fear for the any teacher. I have done in the classroom, but the students are absent for the so many days. Then how they are going to cover, the parents call, then there's so much chaos of because of these all things. When you are already posting that, you are blending these all flipped learning and the traditional learning, then there is no fear for the absent students. Now, teacher can reuse the content they create. The first time when you are going to create this flipped learning content, first time it will take little time. I remember during the pandemic, or I think pre-pandemic, I have created a lesson on reaching the age of adolescence on the nearpod. Now, at the time, it took my near about 30 to 40 minutes because at the time we are also new to the technology. Now, the same content I can use now also. So, once it's like a one time investment for the teacher. Students are able to build a deeper understanding. Now, because they are here, they can easily go through the content again and again because they are not scared of the teacher कि what teacher will say, what my peers will say कि तुम हमेशा पूछते रहते हो, तुम्हें कुछ समझ में ही नहीं आया. Now they are free of any stress or any fear, so they can go through again and again like this. They can learn a lot by this one. Now, these are the very handful of the tools. There are so many tools. If you browse, there are n number of tools which can you use for the flipped learning. Google Classroom, Zoom, Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is the one of the, I think, most loved type of tool where the students will go through the videos, and at the same time you can take the assessment of the students, and even you can edit that video as per your need and requirement. You can give your voice to that videos, you can edit that videos, you can add questions, open ended, close ended, any type of questions as per your requirement. Quizzes is also one of the interesting way. And now quizzes most of the time we used to do in the online classes, but you can also assign as I think you all are aware of this fact that quizzes can be assigned as the homework also. Wakelet, and Wakelet is the one of the platform where you can collect all your things in the on a one platform, that is Wakelet. You can keep the all the content, written content. You can collect all the videos, all the activities sheets, whatever you want to do. So one Wakelet is enough for the one class. आपको इधर उधर जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. एक Wakelet collection में you are able to cover almost all the things which you require for the one classroom. Nearpod, Peer Deck, Kahoot, Padlet, Jamboard. These are the very, you can say, handful of the tools which you can use for the your this flipped learning. Now, example of flipped learning. We have talked a lot how to design lesson for the flipped learning. How can we implement them? Which tools can we use for the flipped learning? But what are the examples of flipped learning? Because flipped learning में अकेली online classes की बात नहीं हो रही है. Flipped learning में हमारे asynchronous material की बात नहीं हो रही है. We are talking about the live classes at the same time, because we have to carry forward. We have to carry forward the same thing in the live classes also. जो हम बच्चे वो content देख के आ रहे हैं, how we are going to carry forward. If we are not going to carry forward that, वो हमारी learning वहीं पे खत्म हो जाती है. It will be the students will not take seriously. Then there is no fun of doing the flipped learning. There's no fun of doing the flipped classroom. Now, example of flipped learning, the standard inverted classroom. Students are assigned the homework of watching videos, lectures, reading any material relevant to the next day's class. Now, as a homework, suppose today I have completed one topic, but tomorrow I want to carry forward. And anyhow, I have a very limited time. I have to, in this given time frame, I have to complete this topic. So what can I do? I can post a video, I can post a content and ask my students to please go through this and come forward. Then come in. So वो हमारा काम वहां पे कम हो गया और easily हम अपने उस given time frame में हम उस topic को easily cover कर सकते हैं. We can now discussion oriented flipped classroom. Teachers assign lecture videos. You can show a video on any topic, especially then social science, English, Hindi. They can show and then allow their students to do the group discussion. Now, demonstration focused flipped learning, mostly in the science, we can demonstrate an activity. Suppose, because in the science, most of the time we take to the chemistry lab or the bio lab, sometimes the student creates a problem, then we are wasting the time, please settle down and like this. If beforehand it, and most few students are not able to understand what teacher has demonstrated. Now here with the flipped learning, suppose tomorrow I am going to take my student to the chemistry lab where I am going to demonstrate about the metal displacement reaction. So better way is the day before I'm going to take my student to chemistry lab, let me post a video related to the metal displacement reaction. So the next day when the students come to the class, they come with the at least they have some vision ki kya hone wala hai and what will happen. So like this, even I can like even I can record my demonstration and I can post it. So students are here. When I am demonstrating, I can record my class, and also so whenever the student get the time, they can revise what teacher has explained and how this practicals or this activities are done in the lab. The Flock's flipped classroom. The one great idea education drive uncovered is perfect for the younger students for whom actual homework might not yet to be appropriate. This flipped classroom this flipped classroom model, instead of those students watch lecture video in class, giving them the opportunity to review material at their own pace. Now, in the small classes, especially for the junior classes, these lectures are not going to help. मैं उनको lecture दे रही हूँ कर रही हूँ. Then what can they do? They can just record their lecture and post it there. So student can sit and go through that lectures. Group-based flipped classroom. Now the model add as a new element to help student learn each other. Now here, which we have talked about, it increase the student interaction. So here when you divide in the group, because each group will be consist of the different type of students, they are different in learning, they are different in their skills, they are you know they are, I can say they have a different type of multiple intelligence. So here you can say like if one group can consist of so many type of students. The virtual flipped classroom, we all are completely aware and we are using it very actively, that the flipped classrooms and flipping the teacher. Now flipped classroom, I think we all are aware of how we can using this online platforms, how we are using the Google Classroom, how we are using the Zoom platforms. Now the seventh one, which I find it very interesting, that is flipping the teacher. All the videos created for a flipped classroom doesn't have to begin and end with the teacher. Okay, then student too can make use of video to better demonstrate proficiency. Now this we used to do with the flip grid. Now suppose for the in the class 6, soluble insoluble, share a flip grid link, let the student try to find out the material in their kitchen, what are the different type of substances in their houses, the material which are soluble in soil. Let them demonstrate that, and that learning will help them to understand, and they will also learn how to apply that knowledge. अभी तो क्लासरूम में टीचर ने बता दिया ये soluble है ये insoluble है, okay, उन्होंने वो शीट में कर लिया, but how they are going to apply this knowledge when they will do this activity by their own, and they create and they feel so happy, like they become so joyful when they perform that, and they become so excited to share that videos with the teacher. Ma'am, देखिए, today I have done that, this is soluble, and they start dissolving turmeric, sometimes they dissolve and they find out. And by this experiential learning, this flipped learning is also, we can carry forward this flipped learning. Now I have added that slide, because I'm talking about the flipped learning, and in the starting I have shared a link as well as a code by which you can connect with my slides, because this is a peer deck slides. In peer deck, at the same time when you are explaining your chapter online, or even you have shared a content, student can give their responses, they can write down their responses. So here, if you will see here how flipped learning is better than traditional learning, I will show you the responses. Try to answer this question with that link or with that code, then you will be able to find out how this flipped learning can be used in online or the live classes. I am going to show you there. If you have joined that, waiting for my responses, try to give that answer with that link. I am going to share that again for those who have joined late. Try to join my slide. So you can see here on my screen, you can see it is there waiting for the responses. As soon as the student will join, you will come to see the name of the students there and their responses also. So like this, it is not simply sharing of a presentation. It is not simply for like it's a like a one way type of teaching कि सिर्फ एक teacher ने वो किया. So you can see 19 20 responses are there. Okay, let us see the responses. Okay, show responses. Let me see. It is taking time to upload. So here you can see, yes, it helped to cater the needs of all students. So this is also the one of the way of flipped learning, because here the student are not being they have no fear of judgment, क्योंकि when they are writing, so they are not in the way कि उनको ये डर लग रहा है कि मैं यदि आंसर लिखूंगा तो टीचर क्या सोचेगी, so they can answer. Okay, so here I can see, so 21 responses are there. So you can go through the each response and you can find out what the student has wrote. So okay, fine. Okay, so I'm moving to my next slide. Rate the presentation between 1 to 5. Although that is up to you, but it is not like why I have given this question, because this can be used in your any type of to get the feedback from your student. Suppose I have given a lecture in my class, I don't know the how many students, suppose the 50 students in my class, I'm not aware ki out of 50 how many of them are able to understand. And you can use this for the maths as well. As maths के लिए use कर सकते, social science के लिए use कर सकते, आप any subject. So this presentation, simple Google Slides, there is an add-on which I am using, that is Nearpod. So like this, you can get the a quick response कि क्या मैंने जो पढ़ाया वो बच्चों को वो क्या उस लायक था, क्या जो मैंने पढ़ाया क्या उनको समझ में आया, क्या I have to do a lot of hard work for this. So here like this you can see these are the responses, that is up to you कि आप कितना response करते क्या करते. Like this you are able to find out and you can work forward like this. और आपका जो आगे का प्लान है and you have a complete vision from where you have to start and where is the learning gap, you can understand that. So this is all about my presentation. I hope I'm able to clear what is flipped classroom and what is flipped learning. Any questions if you want to ask question?
Thank you, Shalini ma'am, for such a wonderful session. If anyone have any questions, please ask in the chat box. And the feedback, we can't send the PPT, ma'am, because it's our expert facilitator's property. If you need, you can take the screenshot. Shalini ma'am will share the screen once again.
Okay, give me 1 minute to share screen. Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute because I think there's some network glitch. So, okay, give me 1 minute. I will share my screen. Ma'am, let me know which slides you need that I'm just going to share.
Ma'am, you can show it from the beginning so that they can take the screenshots.
Okay, ma'am. Give me 1 minute. Yes, ma'am. Lissy ma'am has raised hand. Yes, Lissy ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
just a small query. These certificates will be sent to our email, no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's what I just wanted to ask.
Okay, ma'am. These all are the slides. Now the last two slides are of questions. So,
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you everyone for joining. Tomorrow we have the session for Preeti ma'am's breathing exercises, which was cancelled yesterday. So I request everyone to please sign in for that class from teacherclass.org website. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Shalini ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Have
you.
a good evening.